Hi everybody, welcome back. I hope you're all doing well. So in this video,
We live in a rich culture for real, because every time a man calls a woman easy, I'm just kind of like, okay, what should she be? Should you have to convince her multiple times? Should she be hard? Like, why is it not attractive to you that you want to have sex with a woman and she wants to have sex with you? That's weird.
I saw this lady who was saying that the quote unquote easy woman is an average man. And men are not called easy as often as they should. You know, we don't call men easy as much as we should be calling them. Because most of the times, this is who they are. When they approach you, they're already looking at how quick they can get into bed with you. But then if you want you want the same things as they do because you like them, somehow you become the bad person. You know, you become run through. If a man gets a lot of women, he's deemed as the man. He's even praised for it. He gets a lot of women. He can sleep with so many women at a time. But if a woman also enjoys this and this is who she is, oh, all hell breaks loose.
Me and my best friend were just talking about how it seems like the more that you want a guy, the less they want it from you. And we're always told like, oh, like don't hook up with a guy on the first date because then he'll like think it's easy and then he won't want you anymore. And I feel like we got to start calling that what it actually is. The more that you show interest in hooking up with a guy, the less they will want that from you. Then you have to look at the inverse of that. And the inverse means that the less you want it, the more they will want it. That is the ideology that leads to rape. Like, we have to actually start calling that what it is. Like they don't want women to be active participants in this. They want to work for it. They want to scheme into it. They want to scam you into it. And if they're not doing that, then it's not fun. And we just take that as like, yeah, that's just what happens. That's just how it goes. And we have to kind of like play the game with them and make them chase us. But that is literally rape culture. Like, that's not good. And yeah, that's not our fault. That's literally has nothing to do with us, ladies. But yeah, we have to really start thinking about that. That's not good.
We live in a rich culture for real, because every time a man calls a woman easy, I'm just kind of like, okay, what should she be?
So what this creator has done, she's taken something that has nothing to do with rape. She's attached being easy to rape culture, but is that what being easy comes from?
This is a classic example of when two people are talking about something and using the same word, but not having a shared understanding as to what that word means. In this case, the original creator is using a definition of rape culture that is more in line with reality, while the second one has a aired or flawed idea about what rape culture is, which is what led him to say that that original point has nothing to do with rape. So for the purposes of this video, let's all have a shared definition. Rape culture is essentially when the behaviors and attitudes society has normalizes sexual violence, or in this case, rape. And so the first creator argues that we live in a rape culture because there is a stigma surrounding women who are quote unquote easy, meaning that there is a negative connotation with a woman being enthusiastically willing to have sex with her partner. Even though in a non-rape culture setting, we want women to be enthusiastically consenting to any sexual encounter they find themselves in. But when we make being easy a bad thing, we're basically saying that there should be a level of resistance, maybe even convincing or coercion, or a bit of work one has to do before sleeping with someone. When in reality, having to coerce somebody into having sex with you is rape. Any attitude or social connotation that makes enthusiastic consent less desirable is hence rape culture. Now, I will tag the second creator below and you can listen to his entire argument, but for me, it ends up becoming a straw man because he is essentially reformulating her argument and attacking that because he doesn't have a shared understanding about what she means when she says rape culture. I also think it's important to point out that rape culture does not always have to do with actual rape. When we dismiss the negative actions of men as boys will be boys, or when we give a pass to men in power who make sexually charged remarks at their female colleagues, even in the ways that we in Gen Z talk about sex in a very violent, almost non-consensual way, that all contributes to a society in which we have attitudes that make sexual violence more normalized. Because any discussions of sex that are not 100% enthusiastic and safe for both people involved contribute to rape culture.
Because what's an easy woman? A woman who has sex when she wants to have sex. An easy woman, it's an average man. So I saw a post on IG, right? And it was supposed to be a light, funny IG reel. The guy basically said, oh, when the coochie is so easy that now you worried about it being a setup. You know, the girl was so easy that now he had to look left and right before entering her apartment because why is it so easy? It might be a setup, right? And the comments were all laughing. It was many men and just a few amount of women. They were all laughing. Some men were even like, oh, and after that, go to the doctor to check if you didn't catch anything from her, you know, because she's so easy. You know, this is a popular joke. This is a popular joke, but it's also a grape culture joke. And I know people are going to be like, oh, Audrey, you're always ruining the fun. It's just a joke, relax. But really analyze what's being said. The coochie was so easy because in man's head, it's not supposed to be easy. If a man is attracted to you, he doesn't want your coochie to be easy. So he wants you to not want the sex. And he needs to be the person to convince you into wanting it. So when he feels like he didn't have to convince you, you're too easy. But an easy woman is just a woman who has sexual agency and she knows she wants to have sex with you. And so therefore she goes for what she wants. She doesn't play hard to get because she already knows that she wants you. And so why does she need to play? See, and I've talked about this before, the fact that men love it when they coerce you into sex. That joke comes from the fact that men prefer to coerce you into sex than you wanting it. Because what's an easy woman? A woman who has sex when she wants to have sex. An easy woman, it's an average man. An easy woman is just a woman who's not afraid of sex. And if she desires you, she's going to want to have sex with you. She's not going to play mind games with you to get your DICK. She's just going to be like, are you down for it? And if she sees that you're down for it, you guys are going to do it. A man will call you easy for that because in their head, they're supposed to be the one to convince you into sex. See, this joke is problematic because it implies that women do not have sexual desires, right? And the only moments that we have sexual desires, it's because the men convince us. Which is funny because we are the ones who have an organ that's only designed for sexual pleasure. Women think about sex almost every day, almost all the time. And yet, in front of men, we always have to act like, no coochie up the queen. We always need to act like we don't desire them, right? And we always need to stroke their ego to make them feel like, oh, I didn't want to have sex, but you made me change my mind. Do men even realize that so many women, right, are faking the good girl act? They are faking being hard to get. It's an act. They're not like that for real. It's just an act to make you feel more confident as a man. Jokes like that, they're so problematic because they're encouraging the grape culture. They're encouraging men to think that, oh, if she tells me no, I have to insist, right? Because good girls will tell you no at first. So I need to insist. If she tells me yes without me having to convince her, then she's an HOE and she probably has something. She probably has an STI. This is how men think. To think like that, that means you don't even view women as human as you. You don't view them as human as you. That's why you don't realize that, oh, maybe she just wanted to have sex with me. And so she was like, do you want to have sex with me? And I wanted to. And so we had it. The fact that you call a woman that's willing to have consensual sex easy is problematic. So a woman who wants consensual sex, that's an HOE. That's an easy woman. So what does that mean? What does that mean? That means you have to coerce women. You know, the women who are not easy, you have to coerce them. And coercion is SA. Coercion is SA. This is why these jokes are problematic. They are encouraging the grape culture.
She's so easy. She's so easy. It sounds like she consented. consent should always be easy. Okay, is she easy, or did y'all just align on exactly what you wanted and carry through with it? Is she easy, or was she just honest and truthful and you did the exact same? Tell me, why do you believe that doing it with a woman should be hard? It's probably because that hard part that you're talking about very often comes from deception, okay? And deception is something that is always going to be much harder to do than truth and honesty, okay? Unfortunately, we live in a world in which people are implored to not be themselves, to not be truthful, to not be honest, to not be direct about what they want. So you believe that you must not be, and then therefore inherently add in deception to your quote-unquote game to get with a woman. You don't have to do all that. You can just be truthful and honest. I promise you, statistically speaking, you're going to find one woman who automatically is going to align with you no matter what you look like, no matter how much you make, no matter what your personality type is. Some woman you will not have to do any games with or tricks with to be with. Won't be a hard part. Okay? That is the truth, and that is why it should be easy. Always. Consent is easy.
We live in a rape culture for real, because every time a man calls a woman easy, I'm just kind of like, okay, what should she be?
Okay, I actually cannot stop thinking about this, but I've definitely noticed a pattern, especially in like modern dating, where men will be like, oh yeah, you know, she's like really easy, bro, like, you know, like, she really likes me, like, kind of in like, oh no, like, she's feeling me too much. I logically, like, shouldn't that be the end goal? Like, don't you want to have relations with someone who's genuinely attracted to you and likes talking to you and is, like, receptive and communicative? Like, why is it always the, I guess, other side of, like, you know, the thrill of the chase? It's like that, it is, I guess, connected to grape culture. Like, if you kind of, like, really, and I didn't really put the two and two together, but I've been listening to a lot of, like, manosphere stuff, and also, like, they talk a lot about vasopressin as, like, a bonding chemical in men, where they feel like they only attach to women who put them through, like, roadblocks or challenges. And it's like, I don't know, like, the thrill of the chase is just kind of an odd concept, because these things should kind of come seamlessly, and that's how these men fumble like a good girl. It's like all connected back to grape culture, where it's like you have to, like, convince someone to be into you. And I don't know, now that I've kind of put the two and two together after that video, like, it is genuinely disturbing, and it now makes, like, a lot of sense. Like, I just, like, it, to me, it's just very illogical, so it makes sense that it's rooted in something, like, programmed, that's a little, not right.
I'm glad that lady made that video, because I made a similar video about just because she's easy for you doesn't mean she's easy for everyone. Basically, this lady said, we live in a grape culture for real, because what do you mean she's easy? She wants you and now she's easy. Yeah, which is basically another way of saying just because she accepts your offer doesn't mean she's accepting every offer. And this is why I genuinely believe it is a sign of you, like, wanting someone that doesn't accept your offer so you can force yourself onto them, which is grapey, right? Or it's a sign of you having low self-esteem, because you're like, I'm going to throw everything at this wall, right, and see what sticks. But, oh my goodness, you actually want me back? Me? Why me? I'm no one. Why do you want me? That's a sign of low self-esteem. Believe in your source a little bit more, young blood, man. Believe in you more. You understand what I'm saying? So for me, it's grapiness, low self-esteem, and or attachment wounds. You might have an avoidant attachment and you like the runner-chaser dynamic. Once they stop and they're like, actually, yeah, I do want this thing. You're like, oh, I don't know how to deal with the mutuality of this thing, because I have a insecure attachment style, which again, insecurity, right? An insecure attachment style. I'm either a fearful avoidant or an avoidant, and it makes me uncomfortable that you like me back. this mutual consensual act. But if somebody comes up to me and says, yo, do you want some cookie dough ice cream? And I'm like, I love cookie dough ice cream. Yes. And then they hit me with, ugh, why do you want cookie dough ice cream? That means you want every flavor of ice cream. How did you make that correlation in your brain? I like this ice cream. It doesn't mean I'm going for the brownie, chunky chip, whatever the hell else they've got out here. I like cookie dough. I want a cookie dough. I said yes to the cookie dough. I want cookie dough. And this is why I say, men, you guys have really terrible vetting systems for real. It's okay if you see someone and you know that they're in a relationship and they're constantly cheating in their relationship, or they're flirting with everyone and they're doing things that makes you, look at their character a bit sideways. That's different. That is a good correlation to make and have apprehensions around. Someone liking you and wanting you back and accepting your offer because they want that thing doesn't mean they're accepting every offer. And also, you have to also recognize, that just because a woman in her singlehood might flirt with different people and not even take it far, right? Because even another thing that people used to weaponize against women is, they'll be like, oh, everyone, even sometimes that's gossip, right? One thing you have to be able to recognize is, in their singlehood, may not be how they operate in a relational dynamic with someone that they are genuinely taking seriously. So you have to ask the questions. You have to bet. That's why I say, man, we have terrible vetting systems, and that's one of the reasons I created the card game. Are you really compatible? Because you need to be intentional about asking the thorough questions. Be intentional in your relational dynamics. Get to know a person's morals, values, and character in what they say, and then assess them in a variety of settings beyond what they say. That's why the cards are step one. They're getting to know them in a variety of settings and seeing how they operate with you in different settings, with different people, is step two. Always stay vigilant and then trust your ability to leave a dynamic that you're saying, the values, the character, the morals, I don't like it. That's how you're supposed to maneuver and operate, instead of being like, you're easy, off of a very poorly, there's not enough data here for you to even make that conclusive, assumption. Do you get what I'm trying to say? You'll say you want Vapianos, and then they'll say, oh, they want Burger King, KFC, and everything else. How did you jump there, man? And it's like, they accepted your offer. Don't be like, nah, I want you to decline my offer so I can force myself onto the offer so you can want me by, sometimes it is God giving you a just that easy type of scenario for you. It doesn't mean that they're easy for everybody. It's the next, someone else could come and say, yeah, can I have it? She'll be like, nah, I don't want that offer. I don't want you. Watch it offering me. No, I don't want it. You know what I'm saying? Vet them, assess their character as time goes. Just let time tell. If you need help with that, there's a card game of 140 questions. I'll ask you deeper questions to get to know your partner in the basket. See you in the next video, guys.
We live in a rape culture for real, because every time a man calls a woman easy, I'm just kind of like, okay, what should she be? Should you have to convince her multiple times? Should she be hard? Like, why is it not attractive to you that you want to have sex with a woman and she wants to have sex with you? That's weird.
Bro, stop. That got 1 million views, by the way. 1 million views, bro. You know, dang. First of all, women do this all the time. You know, it'd be certain things that dudes may have possibly started, like certain phrases or terms or things dudes may say, and then certain women will try to flip it and shit. How many times have you heard dudes say, F these hoes, chase the money? And then girls will say, F these dudes, chase the money. Like, what? So when girls say dudes are easy, is that not valid? Dudes can be overly going because they so horny. Dudes be ready to get some poom poom. So do certain women. All women are not easy. All women are not just willing to give it up like that. A woman with common sense knows when a dude is saying she's easy, she gave it up like literally on the first night. Some girls will give it up literally the first time you speak to them on FaceTime or something. You want to hang out? Oh yeah, I'll pull up. That's easy. A girl who does sex work, even if she's not even famous, just freaking sell pictures or private snaps or whatever, private stories. Some girls will say, oh, but she's making that money. It's easy though. A dude could go get $10 or something depending on what she's pricing. That's what dudes mean when they say easy. It ain't about most dudes are it's a general society and culture where they're promoting grape culture. The freak is wrong with y'all? Y'all are no different at all than politicians, bro. Y'all will generalize a whole group of people and then try to demean them or degrade them for your benefit and your party. In this case, y'all try to get more women to have the same ideology and ideal thinking points as y'all do, when in reality, that's not every woman. It's the same goal for dudes who watch Fresh and Fit, or they have a certain ideology when it comes to women. They spread their political takes for their party. So other dudes can be like, man, I'm telling y'all, open your eyes. Most of these girls are the same. I'm telling you. No. This is a perfect example, one of the most perfect examples of how men and women are different and think differently. Although we are the same creatures, some of us act like we're just from totally different universes. No, we're more alike than people think. Yes, we have different, thoughts of different thinking points and all that, and we have, different body parts and all that, but overall, we're both human beings. We're the same species. It's not our fault that a lot of y'all or whoever think that we're so different and far apart because y'all have certain trauma or issues with the other gender. This goes for men and women. And if anybody get mad at me in this video after I just gave examples on both sides, you're just a person that you just want to argue. You just want to argue. That's all it is.
Time should she be hard? Like, why is it not attracted to you that you want to have sex with a woman and she wants to have sex with you?
That's not what that means, and you know that's not what it means. Every day people get up on the internet and say the stupidest stuff, and then they got people in their comments saying, you know what, you're right. When somebody says she's easy, they're saying that she didn't make them work for it at all. I didn't have to treat you with any respect. I didn't have to court you. I didn't have to take you out on a date. I didn't have to put a ring on it. I didn't have to propose. I didn't have to ask you to be my girlfriend. That makes a woman easy. I didn't have to show you the bare minimum of self-respect. I didn't have to do anything. Kind of the same way a woman would look at a dude as a loser if she didn't have to do anything and he was just giving her money, right? Like, why would you find a man attractive that just saw you on the street one day and just gave you $1,000? He was like, here, because you're pretty. You're gonna take the money. You're probably gonna keep taking the money, but you would never take that dude seriously. He's a loser. The same way a dude would never take a woman seriously who, upon the first couple hours of knowing each other, he let you break her down in a McDonald's restroom. She's easy. There's no respect. Yuck, right? It'd be different if I find a shorty, I find her attractive. She's like, I try to make a move, she don't let me do nothing. I gotta take her out on 5, 6, 7, 8 dates. Then of course she's not easy. I have to take her out on 8 dates. Or she's like, no, I'm not having sex with you until we're married. Shorty's not easy. She has some type of respect for herself. You know what I mean? But y'all making it seem like, oh, why didn't I have to ask her over and over and over again? That's not what we're talking about. But you don't like how that sounds, so you got to make it sound weird. You know what I mean?
This post here says, she was easy, bro, she liked you. And the one above it says, I have tasted the genuine desire of a woman in love, therefore I can no longer chase women. When you experience what it's like to be with a woman who genuinely wants you, and like beyond just wanting you and like the physical, like she want it. Besides that, like when you come across a woman that genuinely loves you, you really don't chase women anymore. Like you can't chase them more. You might get involved with some women and things don't go well, but as far as you like really pining after a woman, chasing after her, that kind of stops after you experience love. Like, because you kind of realize how fake like when you experience love, you realize when a woman really likes you. Like I remember I was with this one shorty. She would ask me, did you eat today, right? And if I hadn't eaten an adequate amount to her liking, she would get upset with me. She's like, you need to eat more. Or if I had work I didn't get to get done, she would not want me to talk to her until she knew I was done with work. Like she didn't want to bother me. Of course she wanted to talk to me, right? But if she called me, I'd be like, hey, what's up? She's like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm working. She's like, call me back when you're done working. I don't want to distract you. And she would hang up. When you have a woman that considers you, considers your thoughts, emotions, your time, your priorities, things like that, what do you look like chasing a woman ever again?
So the last two guys are trying so hard to prove that women are easy without realizing that they are exposing themselves in the process. Because the last guy, for instance, he agreed with a guy who said that, women are not easy if they want you or something along of that. He agreed with the man when the man said it. But when a woman said it, he disagreed because it's a woman saying, you see what I keep talking about. You just agree with another guy, and you even said you wanted that. You would rather a woman that wants you, and that's why you're not going to chase a woman as well, unless I heard him wrong. But then a woman is saying the same thing, and you're disagreeing with that. It doesn't make sense. The guy before him, he started comparing those regular women to workers. Make it make sense. How you're comparing this to a professional worker? That's her job. She's doing her job. That doesn't make her easy. That's her job. She's taking money to give you a service. It doesn't even make sense. And you don't realize how you are exposing yourselves, because in both instances, you lot prove that you like those type of women, right? You like them, but at the same time, you don't want to be associated with them. It's just a whole lot of mess dealing with some of these guys. It doesn't even make sense. You would rather chase. This one says, I don't want to chase. And then at the same time, you want to chase. Like, what do you want? You lot are so confused. Oh, she's so easy. But you're easy too. You went to bed with her. Do you realize that you're also very easy because you went to bed with her? If she's easy, so are you. You are easier because you approach her. And because you wanted that and immediately you approached her, this is what you want. This was your mindset before approaching her. That makes you very easy. And then she was like, okay, do you know what? Yeah, let's do it. Then all of a sudden she said, oh, she agreed. She made it too easy. Why? What is your problems? Most of you have issues, and honestly, it's not the women, it's you. You all have a whole lot of deep-seated issues that you need to check, because it doesn't make sense. On one hand, I don't want to chase any woman because there are women out there who would give it to you on a first day, or who would want what you want, and so you don't want to chase women. And on the other hand, those same women become easy because they didn't let you chase them. This one has offended me. It doesn't even make sense to me anymore. Because this proves to me that most men don't know what they want. They say one thing, but it means something else. And yes, coercion is grape culture. Because what is your problem? You are an adult. She's an adult. Why do you not want to see women as adults as you, with, who are also sexual beings, who would also want what you want? Why do you refuse to see that in as much as you want it and you want to do it with them, they would also want to do the same with you? And that's also okay. Why are you always wanting to put labels on women? Blame patriarchy. But anyway, let me know your thoughts and I'll see you again another one. Take care of yourselves and